The movie kicks off with a young boy named Steve, whose biggest dream is to go mining. Armed with his pickaxe, he heads out to the mining site. But there, a grumpy old man shows up and scares him off. Years pass. Steve's hair starts to turn gray. His dream shifts. Now he wants to sell an idea for a resort. Frustrated, Steve asks himself, "What am I even doing with my life?" Then a memory hits. How much he loved mining as a kid. Fueled by that spark, he grabs his pickaxe again and sneaks back to the mining site. And guess who's there? The same grumpy old man. Dodging him carefully, Steve slips into the mining area and starts digging. Suddenly, he spots a glowing blue orb and a crystal cube. When he clicks them together, a portal bursts open. Stepping through, Steve finds himself outside the Minecraft world. He's amazed. Wow. Then it hits him. He can create anything with his imagination. He quickly builds a wooden playhouse, then a steel house, a diamond house, and all sorts of wild stuff. Out of nowhere, a fierce wolf appears. Steve freezes for a moment but spots a bone nearby. He picks it up and offers it to the wolf. Instantly, the wolf becomes his friend. Over the years, Steve keeps building incredible inventions, crafting an entire world he names Steve's World. He's happy. While exploring, Steve finds a portal, but this one isn't what he expected. It's a gateway to the netherworld. Curious, he steps in and immediately encounters terrifying piglins with wild, angry eyes. Steve's scared. And then, there's Malguzia, the netherworld's queen. She had dreams once too, but they were crushed. As a kid, she wanted to show off her dance moves in a talent show, but the piglins mocked her, telling her creativity doesn't belong in the nether. Now, she's furious, bent on destroying anyone who dares to create. Steve realizes if she gets her hands on the orb and cube, it could mean total destruction. When she demands the orb, Steve acts fast. He hands it off to his dog, the wolf, tasking him to sneak it out and hide it in Steve's real world, inside his real house. Meanwhile, Malguzia captures Steve. Now, meet our next key player, Gareth, aka Aquaman. He's also a legend at the arcade games, running a shop that doubles as an arcade. But things take a turn. A woman shows up with a notice. Unpaid rent means his shop might be taken away. Gareth's stressed. Where am I going to get money now? Then, a friend calls with a lead. Some junk for sale, including game consoles. If Gareth buys them, he could make some cash by reselling. At the auction, Gareth bids high and wins all the junk for $900, hoping to find a game console inside. But when he opens the box, it's just junk. And then, the orb and cube drop out. Angry at the friend for the scam, Gareth jumps in his car to head back to the arcade, only for his car to break down. Meanwhile, enter two more characters, Henry and his sister Natalia. Their mother recently passed away, and they're moving from their old city to start fresh in a new one. They need a house, and that's where Dawn, a real estate agent, comes in. She shows them a house. Turns out, it's Steve's old house. Henry heads off to school and spots Gareth's arcade shop on the way. Curious, he goes in and strikes up a friendship with Gareth before heading to class. At school, Henry meets his principal, Macklin, who welcomes him warmly and helps him settle in. In art class, the teacher asks everyone to draw a banana and an orange. Instead of just drawing a banana, Henry attaches a rocket to it. The art teacher sees this and bursts out. The whole class cracks up. Some kids start teasing, "Are you trying to be a great scientist?" Henry, proud as ever, replies, "Yep, I'm a scientist," and quickly builds a small rocket to show everyone. But on the playground, trouble hits. Some mischievous kids cut one of the rocket's wires. When Henry launches it, the rocket soars up and crashes right onto the roof of an office building. That office? Natalia's workplace, Henry's sister. The principal gets furious and demands Henry call his guardian. Henry's stuck. Calling Natalia means trouble. So, with a bit of pride, he decides to call Gareth as his guardian instead. When Gareth asks why, Henry offers a bribe. "I've got $26. When he arrives in his car, the principal spots him and says, "You're the garbage man, right?" The principal, surprisingly impressed, lets them leave. At Gareth's arcade shop, Henry spots the orb and cube sitting together. Henry notices a note. "Never connect the cube and orb. Terrible things will happen." But curiosity wins. Henry connects them. Instantly, the orb moves and pulls them towards something. Meanwhile, Natalia's worried sick. She calls Henry again and again. No answer. Dawn reminds her, "You put a tracker in his backpack, right? Check it." Natalia checks the GPS. Henry and Gareth are heading toward the Amanda mining site, the very same place Steve went through the portal. Worried, Natalia and Dawn rush there. When all four arrive, a portal is open, and Henry and Gareth are already inside. Without hesitation, Natalia and Dawn jump in and find themselves in the outer world, just like Steve did. Unseen, a villager hides behind bushes, watching them step through. Then, he sneaks into the portal and appears in the real world. As he crosses a road, a car comes speeding and hits him. The driver steps out. It's none other than Henry's principal. And surprisingly, she starts to fall for the villager. Suddenly, darkness falls. The sky turns pitch black, and zombie apes and skeletons start crawling out of the shadows. Some shoot arrows, others chase after them, and one even rides a giant skeleton spider. Everyone's running for their lives. In the madness, Gareth, the garbage man, falls into a pit. Henry keeps running but crashes hard into a tree, and the tree instantly transforms into a block. Henry's eyes widen. He wastes no time. He starts building a massive castle. Meanwhile, Gareth climbs out of the pit, only to spot a creeper sneaking up behind him. He greets it with a shocked, and the creeper explodes in his face. Gareth bolts, spotting the orb on the ground. As he reaches for it, an arrow from a skeleton nails the orb, cracking it. He grabs the orb and dashes straight into Henry's newly built castle. Zombies swarm after him. They all crowd on the roof, but then even more zombies arrive. Just when it looks like the end, Steve suddenly appears, fighting off the horde with deadly skill. Morning breaks. The zombies burn to ashes, the skeletons turn to dust. It's a breathtaking, almost surreal scene. Steve looks at the group and asks, "What are you doing here?" "How did you get in?" Gareth explains. "I found this orb in some junk and put it together with the cube. Somehow, it led us here through a portal." Dawn adds, "If we came in this way, maybe we can go back the same way." Henry points out, "The crystal's broken." Steve sighs. "There's only one way to get a new one, inside the woodland mansion, but going there, it's basically a death sentence. No time to wait." The group decides. They push forward. As they arrive at Steve's village, they see the incredible inventions he's made. Steve proudly shows off his lava chicken and even breaks into song. But in the netherworld, Malguzia is furious. She hands a potion to a piglin and orders them to retrieve the orb and crystal at any cost. Back in the village, Steve shows them his house and crafting table. "If you put any elements here," Steve explains, "you can create things." He crafts a sword, and Gareth watches, a flicker of jealousy crossing his face. Henry, inspired and now friends with Steve, says, "I want to make something too." He quickly creates a powerful jump gun. Meanwhile, Natalia and Dawn visit a villager, hoping to find a map to the woodland mansion. As soon as they try to buy the crystal, a sudden attack erupts from the nether. They don't hesitate. They run for their lives. By some miracle, Steve, Henry, and Gareth make it near the woodland mansion. But there's a catch. The only way forward is through the redstone mining site, a death trap swarming with creepers and nether piglins lurking in every shadow. They spot an old minecart nearby. Steve quickly explains, "With redstone power, we can make this minecart rocket ahead." When they finally emerge, all the monsters are gone, blasted to pieces. Steve points ahead. There it is, the woodland mansion. He lays out the plan. First floor, find the indicator. They steel themselves and head toward the mansion. Meanwhile, Natalia and Dawn are lost, panicking about finding Steve. Then, out of nowhere, Steve's wolf appears. Dawn spots a bone on the ground, tosses it to the wolf. Instantly, it's their loyal pet. Natalia commands the wolf, "Lead us to Steve." The wolf takes off, leading them straight through the wild. Back inside the mansion, Henry slips quietly up to the second floor. Suddenly, the evoker spots him and starts shouting. Downstairs, Steve and Gareth shout and keep singing, holding the distraction. Henry dodges danger and presses on to the third floor. There, he finds chests filled with swords, armor, diamonds, everything. But the one thing he needs lies in a chest under a window. He opens it. Inside, the earth crystal. Henry pockets the crystal. Immediately, an Enderman materializes. It tricks Henry's mind. He sees Gareth, Steve, and even his sister as ghostly figures. Henry clenches his jaw. He knows this is the Enderman's classic illusion. He fights back with everything he's got and kills the Enderman. From its remains, he claims an Ender Pearl. Steve smiles grimly. With that, you can teleport anywhere. Downstairs, the Indicator faction captures Steve and Gareth, forcing them into a brutal showdown with a rare, vicious mob. This isn't your average zombie. This one's wild, fast, and deadly. A fierce, chaotic fight breaks out. Meanwhile, Henry sneaks around, digging a pit to get down to the lower floor undetected. When he drops down, he sees Steve and Gareth victorious but battered. The zombie chicken is defeated. They try to escape, but on a narrow bridge, they run straight into Malguzia. She demands the Ender Pearl. But Henry and Steve think fast. They jump onto a nearby cart to make a break for it. Aquaman gets stuck. He tells them to go on without him. Malgusia snatches the orb and crystal from Aquaman. Suddenly, boom! A massive explosion rips through the area. The blast sends the cart flying far away. Steve and Henry lose consciousness. When they wake, they find Dawn and Natalia with them. Meanwhile, Malgusia opens a colossal portal high in the sky. From it pours an unstoppable nether army. Steve grins grimly. Time to Minecraft our way out of this. Henry summons an iron golem. Together, they create a battalion of iron golems. The battle explodes. Steve, clad in diamond armor, confronts Malgusia, but she lands one crushing blow and shatters his armor. Henry bolts toward the top of a nearby hotel, where the orb lies. He pulls out his jump gun, loads the ender pearl, and fires. Teleportation kicks in. He lands near the orb, but mobs below fire a blast gun, sending him plummeting. As Henry falls, Aquaman arrives just in time on the cart, grabbing his hand. Aquaman commands the cart, "Ram that portal!" The cart crashes through the portal. Boom! It explodes. The orb falls, separating from the crystal. Instantly, mobs and piglins collapse, lifeless. Steve rallies and defeats Malgusia. Finally, the team opens a portal back to their real world. And just like that, the adventure ends. Thanks for watching.